Hello and welcome to another quick training tutorial. Now in this training tutorial, we're going to talk about fixing bad credit by understanding how to really read a credit report. Now this is a TransUnion credit report that we are looking at right now. As you can see, it's a real credit report and it's a lot of stuff going on inside of this credit report. Now it may look a little scary to you if you're brand new, and if you are a very experienced credit repair practitioner, then this may be very easy for you. Now, why is it so important for you to break this credit report down before you start disputing? Well, you need to know what's going on. You need to know what you are disputing. You can't just go in there and just start disputing blind. But where does it start? It first starts with the credit analysis. It starts with the interview that you give your customer, and you go line by line and ask the customer to tell you a little bit about the account, why the account is inaccurate, what's wrong with the account. So that's you and the customer talking straight forward on every single negative account here on his credit or her credit report. Now, once you get that data, that's part of your argument, and you want to take that data and store it in your activity log or write it down, right? Because you're going to use that data along with breaking down this credit report. Now, I teach factual disputing, so I teach based on disputing inaccurate information, not being deceptive, not lying in your disputes. Okay, so when we look at this credit report, the first thing you want to do is you want to look for problems. You want to look for inconsistencies. These are the things that you want to look for. So obviously you're going to give this to your customer, and you're going to tell your customer to look at every single account and tell me what's wrong. Now, one of the main things that you want to ask your customer is the balance correct? Is the balance correct? That's the first thing you want to ask your customer. So let's go ahead and take a look at this credit report. So as I look at this credit report, I'm going to show you how we break it down here at MC Credit Solutions and how I've broken it down for years. I mean, years and years, and I'm going to continue to break it down this way. And I'm just going to teach you the best practices. You can do whatever you want to do, but I'm going to tell you how I talk to my customer in order to get the information that I need to build my arguments, to build my disputes. And this is exactly what you want to do. All right, so first thing you want to do is you want to ask your customer, is this an auto loan? Is it a lease or is it an installment loan, right? You want to ask them that, loan type. You want to check the date updated. Is that correct? Payment received, is that correct? Last payment made, is that correct, right? So you want to ask your customer, is this date correct here? The high balance, you want to ask them, have you ever had a balance this high? You want to ask them, is the past due balance correct right here? Okay. You want to ask them about the terms. Did you take out a 72 months or 48 month? You want to ask them about the date that it was closed, right? And this date right here is the maximum delinquency of 60 days. So basically they're telling you they were delinquent for 60 days. That was the highest that they went. All right, so you want to ask your customer about all of this stuff here, right? Here's the remarks, disputes, investigation by consumer disagrees, unpaid balance charge-off. So this is an unpaid balance charge-off. So you want to ask them about this. Hey, customer, did you pay this charge-off? Is this correct? Okay. This right here is the estimated month and year that this item will be removed. So TransUnion is telling you that it's going to come off the credit report 2016, which is old. This is an old credit report. So you can look at this and gauge when this account first went delinquent. You can go back 7 years and this will tell you the date that this account went delinquent. Go back 7 years. Now you know the date that this account went delinquent. So this is the time it's supposed to come off. And right here, this particular account we're talking about right here, here's the payment history. So you want to ask your customer, were you late on this date? Were you 60 days, 30 days, or were you late at all, right? So you want to question them about the late history because that's how you build your argument. So this is the late history right here. So credit reports report 24 months. They go back 24 months when they're reporting their late history because 24 months causes the most damage to your customer's credit score. So you're talking to your customer and you're asking them all of these questions. These are the questions you have to ask them. Right? This is what you have to ask them in order to build your argument. You can't just go in here without talking to the customer and start disputing because you will be disputing blind and that's deceptive. Okay. Now this is Progressive Management. That is a collection agency and this is their address. So if you're ever sending a direct dispute, a debt validation letter to the collection agency, this is where you get the address from. And by the way, a quick tip, Privacy Guard does not provide addresses. Identity IQ provide addresses at the very bottom of the report, and all of the major credit bureaus provide addresses too. This is TransUnion, Equifax provide addresses, and Experian provide addresses. So I always go after the collector on round 2 or round 3 with a debt validation letter. All right, let your magic work with the credit bureaus first, and then if they don't do their job, then you go after the collectors. You can also go after the collectors in round 1 if you want to. You can send a debt validation. It's all up to you. All right. So here's the collections. So this is the collections information placed for collections. Now we need to figure out this is right. You want to ask your customer, is this right? Is this right? You also want to ask your customer, is this a joint account? Should this account be closed? Is this right or is this wrong? All right. Did this account go to a collection agency or a collection attorney? Right. So we can challenge that. You want to check out the balance. Is this balance wrong? The date updated, is that wrong? What about the original amount? Compare the balance, current balance, and the original amount. Are these two conflicting? Are these two conflicting? Here's the original creditor. The creditor is the one that sent this debt to the collection agency. So now we have to determine who owns the debt, right? Is it the original creditor or is it the collection agency? Did the original creditor assign this debt to the collector? Is the collector just trying to collect on behalf of the original creditor? So we can send a dispute letter to both, actually. We can send a letter to the original creditor and the collection agency at the same time, asking for debt validation. So look at this amount here, past due, balance, and then original amount. So we got to see if this is correct, right? Payment status, all right? So remarks, account disputed by consumers, placed for collections, estimated month and year that this item will remain on the credit will be removed is 2018. So if you want to find out when the last time they made a payment, you will see that up. Where is that here? Last time they made a payment. Where is the last time they made a payment here? Sometimes it will appear on the, here we go, last payment made right here. So this is how you determine the date of last activity. The date of last activity is the last payment made. That is the date of last activity. So you can gauge the statute of limitations on how long the collector or the creditor can sue your consumer based on the date of the last payment, right? And then you have to look at the statutes for your state or the consumer state and what the statute says. How long can the creditor or the collector go after your consumer in court? So you have to get the statute of limitations for that particular state. All right, so that's how that works. So you want to look at the last payment made, the last date of activity. All right, so right here is our favored Santander, Consumer USA, and they deal with auto loans a lot. So as you can see, automobile loan, they're very tough, but you can, if they're reporting inaccurate information, you can go after them too. So you want to check to see if the date open is correct. You want to check to see if the balance is correct, date update is correct. Last payment made. See, again, here's the last payment made. This is a TransUnion credit report. So TransUnion tells you the date of last activity. And normally you get this report after you send out the first dispute round. Sometimes they send you just a one-pager, and sometimes they send you the whole credit report. But ideally, you want the whole credit report, right? You don't want just a one-pager because you want all this data. You want this information so you can dig deep and help your customer understand what's going on with their credit report, because there can be a lot of problems on this credit report, and your customer don't know, and that's why you're there to help them point out things. What's wrong with this credit report? You see, the credit bureau's job is to report 100% accurate. The same thing with the creditors, the furnishers. They must report 100% accurate. Your job is to make sure they're doing that. All right, last payment made. Is this correct? All right, date updated. Okay, high balance. Look at this, 20,000. Is this correct? Is this the high balance? Right. Payment status, account 30 days past due. $404 per month, paid monthly for 72 months. Is that correct? Okay. Date close. Is that correct? Maximum delinquency of 60 days. So you want to come down here, and here's the payment history. Here's the payment history for this account right here. Okay. So you want to ask your customer, were you really late on this date? What about this date? What about these dates? Were you really late, or did you get your payment in on time and the creditor just didn't update their systems on time? Right? So the remarks are closed. Well, what if they had it open? Is this account closed or should it be open? So basically what I did, ladies and gentlemen, is I just broke down the TransUnion credit report for you right in front of your eyes. This is what we do every single day when we practice our credit repair here in our company. And this is our best practices. We go over it with our customer. We go deep. We try to find inconsistencies, incorrect balances, incorrect everything. And we dispute based on factual information. Why? Because the law allows it to do that. The law allows the creditor, your customer, to dispute anything that's inaccurate, right? Misleading, unverifiable. And that's exactly what your job is. And that's what you are supposed to be doing. Never go blind in on dispute. Never rush your dispute. Always get the information for your customers first. Do a credit analysis, break down the credit report, ask them a lot of questions about these accounts. Take the information, the data, put it in your activity log, and use that based on your disputes. All right, then that's going to conclude this quick training tutorial on how to break down and read a TransUnion credit report for disputing purposes.